Hey everybody, Shawn here from theautomationblog.com, and in this episode of the Automation Podcast, I have the pleasure of interviewing Rockwell Automation's Vice President of Industrial Marketing, Tina Dear, about their upcoming virtual event, Automation Fair at Home. Now, like some of you, I've attended many Automation Fair events in person over the years, and so when I first heard about Automation Fair at Home, I was kind of curious about how they were going to do this as a virtual event. I mean, would it just be a bunch of video presentations like vendors did this spring, or would it be something more? So I'm very thankful that Tina agreed to come on the show and in the following interview give us all the details about Automation Fair at Home, which might just be the first truly virtual industrial automation event. Tina, thank you so much for coming on the Automation Podcast to tell us about Automation Fair at Home. As we talked about, I'm a big Automation Fair fan. I've been a dozen times or more in person, but of course, with everything going on today, I was intrigued by the Automation Fair at Home flyer that came through. And so I really appreciate you coming on the show and telling us all about it.
Awesome. Well, very nice to be here. Thank you for the opportunity, Shawn. I joined Rockwell just about 8 months ago to lead global marketing for them. And, obviously it was a very interesting time to be joining the company. I was in the office for all of 2 months before we went back home. So, then as COVID, the situation got more challenging, that's when we decided, hey, let's throw the old rule books out because nothing applies anymore. And let's reimagine Automation Fair at Home for, and actually utilize a lot of the virtual capabilities to make it even better and bigger than it had been in the past. So I'm very excited to share the great things the team's been doing.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to hearing about it.
Very good. Yeah. So let me share a little bit more detail. So it's we're super excited to be hosting our 29th Automation Fair in November. And of course, this year it's going to be quite different. We'll be debuting Automation Fair at Home, and it's obviously 2020 has been challenging. And after monitoring both the global and local landscape, discussing the event as well with our partners and a number of customers, we decided that rather than not have it, we will go with a primarily virtual event this year. And I say primarily virtual because even as we'll have some awesome virtual components, there is also an in-person physical component we're planning should conditions allow at that time of the year. So the main Automation Fair at Home will provide everything that the past attendees and fans like yourself have loved and appreciated about the event. Many of our customers, partners, they all depend on Automation Fair every year to explore the new technologies that are hitting the marketplace and then to just network amongst themselves and learn from their peers as well. So what I want to say right off the bat is that Automation Fair at Home, the attendees should still expect the similar technical training sessions, product and technology showcases, customized demos, and industry forums as well. So that doesn't change. It's just the format changes and actually becomes potentially a lot better. We'll also, some more details about it. We'll be hosting daily keynote speakers for attendees and providing opportunities to explore new product announcements from Automation Fair as well as our partners. Most sessions will be around 50 minutes. And while some of the events will be pre-recorded, there will be live chat interaction as well. So attendees can discuss the content in real time with our subject matter experts. And then a lot of other good details, I can go into as well.
So that sounds very interesting. So if you're able to break away and actually sit during the live presentation or when the presentation first is launched, you'll actually have experts there in the chat. So you can, now will that chat be archived? So if I have to watch it after hours, I can see some of the Q&A. I know a lot of people do that online these days, is they archive the chat.
Yeah. Right. So we're actually looking into that, Shawn. It's a very good point you raised because there's a lot of learning that happens during those chats too. So we're looking into, whether and how we could archive those chats so that they're available because all of this content is going to be available 6 months past the event. That's one of the big perks of Automation Fair at Home that, folks are going to see be able to navigate it on their own schedule. And it's going to be available for 6 months. And so even as some of these chats, if we're able to pull it off, they'd be available as well. So people can kind of get a bit of a taste of what the real live event was all about.
And that truly is excellent. I know over the years, so many people I've worked with, controls engineers, electrical engineers, have
Hmm.
wanted to go in person, but
Hmm.
trying to get out of the
Exactly.
plant for 2 days, 3 days to get down there,
Hmm.
it's very hard. It's hard, and I know a lot of people too love the training that you guys did at. Well, it's not just the presentations, which you guys do a great job of, and your partners do as well, but also the training. I know a lot of electricians, and technicians were going for the training, and the show was kind of like something to fill in between the training classes. A way to see new products in between
Correct.
learning how to use the products.
Exactly. And, some of your audience might be familiar with our online demo capabilities. And also, we had Rock Live a few months ago that had to go virtual in, the span of like about a month and a half. And we had online training there using the Rockwell Automation cloud-based infrastructure, RACBI. And we had hands-on training where people were able to log in virtually, and and then we had a hardware center where they could see the effects of of the virtual experience, and they could actually navigate, maneuver, and see things in real life. And so that's exactly the same experience we're going to be replicating here, taking some of the learnings from Rock Live and making it even better for Automation Fair at Home. So it's going to be, and when we say Automation Fair at Home, it's not just, at our home here in Milwaukee, but it's also our attendees, being at home and being able to do things on their terms as well, what works best for them. And we're excited to be able to cast a much wider net and allow many more people to be part of Automation Fair at Home.
Yeah, that's excellent. Can you tell us a little bit more about the hands-on lab side of it? So I think most of us we're comfortable with joining a live stream and chatting with people and watching product demos like that. But I'd like to talk more about the hands-on labs and then maybe talk about the virtual exhibit hall because I think both of those are kind of new to the
Hmm.
average automation fair attendee or customer.
Exactly. Yeah. So the hands-on lab, we've invested over the last few years in capabilities in Milwaukee, and we're also replicating it now in Europe, in Italy, and then also in Asia Pacific and Singapore. And what the hands-on lab is all about is that it allows, it allows our attendees, our the trainees to have, hands-on keyboard experience, but it's all driven through their computers, their laptop, and we have a live facilitator who's taking them through it, able to kind of do the training, and then they have through their own keyboards they can actually start to apply the learnings and see through these through cameras through their screen, be able to see the hardware center where the equipment is actually responding to the real kind of real time commands that are being sent through. And, it's been, like I said, it was a huge hit at Rock Live. It was the first time that we rolled it out on such a massive scale just because we couldn't have the physical hands-on labs. And very well received. And a lot more people were able to attend as a result of that, too. Today we have some, with all the strong response that we've had, we're actually, working hard to expand capacity. It's sort of outstripped our best forecasts, and so yeah, we're looking to increase capacity for Automation Fair at Home as well, and we'll continue to do so. And so I could imagine that we're doing a lot of new things here during Automation Fair at Home that, if they're a real success, will become part of the future automation fairs as well, even as we go back to having a physical event. So a lot of good learnings there. And then regarding your question around the show floor, so what we're imagining, Shawn, what we're planning for is actually to have a automation fair experience, which is going to be composed of three main areas, three main tours, if you will. And so we're going to be having our first tour stop is going to be our customer experience center, where we talk about, where we'll have demos laid out and we'll be able to those demos that can run virtually. We'll be able to show that to the folks that are attending online. For those, for some of the attendees who are interested and able to come in person and conditions allow that, we will actually have hands-on demos all done very safely. So that's the first tour stop. And then the second tour stop is actually a tour of our brand new operations line in Milwaukee, which utilizes a lot of Rockwell technologies as well as our partner technologies. And it basically brings the digital thread to life. That was a big purpose of that particular operations line. It's supposed to bring, manufacturing. Some of these products have not been manufactured in the U.S. for a long time, bringing those back here, as well as applying our own technologies to show how this brings a automated line to life and then all the benefits that we're getting from it. So folks calling in, dialing in from home will be able to see those live interactive tours during Automation Week itself, but then it'll be available as a pre-recorded session and available offline, even past the event, to see that. And then the third stop would be our technology and products showcase. And that's actually probably one of the most exciting parts, is that we've taken a kind of an unused part of our headquarters, and completely refurbishing it to make it, from a manufacturing space into a very nice customer experience center. And we're going to have 14 different stops within that showcase where people can learn more about our technologies, have chat experts, answering their questions, have somebody who's walking them through the whole narrative and helping them understand all the different parts of it. And it'll all be done, very interactively, very with a lot of interactive components and, areas where they'll hear the narrative and then they'll be able to see it too. And to bring all of this show floor to life, we're using, for the first time ever, we're utilizing a whole bunch of different technologies. And frankly, when we look into the marketplace, we've talked to, some people who are world class in the events that they put up, and they've not explored some of the grounds that we'll be exploring. We're bringing together best in class, cutting edge technologies and knitting them together for a true automation fair at home experience. And it's going to be seamless to the customer, but it's, some 3D renderings of the space. You can actually feel you are in the space physically. And for those of you that have a, Oculus or VR headset, you can actually follow along in a 3D environment with the tours that are happening. So it's very groundbreaking, the work that we're doing, a lot of testing, a lot of work going into making it really a seamless, outstanding experience for the customer. And we're super excited about it. But for instance, just to give you one example, we've even got virtual networking factored into the Automation Fair at Home schedule. And so we're going to have a virtual networking lounge where folks can create avatars of themselves and go join, just walk right up to conversations that are happening, that they can see happening in that space. And if they were able to, wear a headset, a VR headset, they could actually, be a person where they'll have hands and they can talk, and it's a much more physical experience versus, just sort of seeing things through the camera. And so it's all new, and if you'd like, I can definitely provide you some more details. The team's ironing out all the technical details and making sure that customers are set up right with the right version of Windows, for instance, and for those that are interested, the right type, the options around the VR headsets too.
That's excellent. Yeah, that's exciting. That's something I would like to try just to see how it's implemented, because I think this will be the first show that you can actually attend in virtual reality, the first industrial automation show, I believe. I
Yeah.
haven't heard of anybody else doing it, so that's exciting, especially for me. I'm an early adopter in VR. Now, I want to ask you about the Process Solutions Users Group. I've attended those in the past, and
Mm-hmm.
they're very valuable. But typically, it was an additional cost in the past, so that was an additional time too. So I know many people had interest in that, but they couldn't get away from work. So can you tell us how you're rolling that into Automation Fair at Home?
The process users group that you mentioned, the PSUG, that is definitely a huge part. It is going to be part of Automation Fair during the week itself, and it will live on the recordings past Automation Fair at Home. And this year, we are definitely, because we're able to do a lot of things virtually, we are actually going to open it up to a much wider audience at little to no cost. And so we're hoping that this is something that should be of interest to people. And I can follow up with certainly more more details. This is going to be something that, like I said, with Automation Fair at Home, we're making this a lot more available. We don't have fees for many of our activities that we used to have fees for in the past, because with us going from a physical to a virtual component, that allows us to have some benefits that we're passing on to the customers as well.
That's excellent. I really appreciate you going through that. Now, I know that there has to be some limit on the amount of hardware available for like hands-on labs. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm assuming there's going to be a date where we'll have to actually register. I mean, we can see on the
Correct.
screen here that Automation Fair
Mm-hmm.
at Home runs the week from November 16th to the 20th. But
Mm-hmm.
when have you announced yet when registration will be opening?
Yeah, so registration's opening on October 1st, Shawn. So
Oh,
right around
awesome.
the corner. So make sure you mark your calendars bright and early, 8 a.m. Eastern time, to get in there. And like I mentioned, you had brought up the hands-on labs, because we expect a lot of demand for that. And we also learned from our Rock Live experience to make sure that people who truly value it do get an opportunity to attend. We're going to be having a $99 fee for the hands-on lab and for each of them. And so we think that it's going to be tremendous value. It's a incredible experience, and it's very valuable. But we do have a fee so that we minimize the amount of no-shows that we have, and also it allows us to deliver an even better experience. And then for the rest of the events, frankly, it's going to be no fees at all. So even PSUG is going to be free of charge this year, and opening it up to a much wider audience, and even perspectives too, which is something where we have some major keynotes and we have customers and partners speaking as well. That's actually going to be open to a much, much wider audience. Previously, it had been limited to, for reasons of space, it had been limited to just certain attendees, but this year we're throwing it wide open. And so folks, between their hands-on labs and training and all, it's not just walking the show floor, but it's actually being able to attend perspectives as well, and listen to some listen to Blake Moret, our CEO, speak about our vision for the future, and then also some of our key partners, of our key leaders as well, and which I think is a super exciting opportunity for our customers and our attendees, that they get to be part of that too.
Yeah, I had attended Perspectives, I think it was 2 years ago, and anybody interested in the business side, the futures, the direction, it's an excellent event. It's not for those people who want to learn how to program a PLC or a driver, but if you're interested more on the business side, futures and directions, it's an
Yeah,
excellent event.
yeah, exactly. And we've got 3 days of perspectives, and folks can attend any or all parts of it.
Excellent. I did we cover everything? I feel like we've kind of gone through everything on the screen here. Is there anything else we should talk about, Tina?
What I would say is, I would definitely encourage folks to show up during Automation Fair at Home the week itself, as there will be a much heavier component of interactive and live events then. But then also at the same time, it'll be available on demand 6 months after, and definitely for those of you interested in being part of that week, registration opens on October 1st, like I'd mentioned, and go to rockwellautomation.com to register bright and early. And we're just looking forward to putting up a fantastic show for everybody. Like I said, I truly do believe this is going to be even better than what we might have had in the past. Some of these parts are going to become part of our future as well, even as we go back to physical events. And yeah, excited to welcome everybody to our home, both in person or virtually as well.
Well, I got to say, I'm excited to be attending. I definitely will be signing up on the first, and really because I think most of us, while we love going to shows in person and collaborating with people in our industry, given the current circumstances, that's not really a reality, not today, anyways. So the fact that you and Rockwell have gone through so much effort to bring us a next gen event that we can attend virtually. I'm excited to see how it turns out. I think it's going to be. I did watch some of the presentations from Rock Live, and I thought they were well done. And it really
Okay.
seems like you're stepping up the bar here. So I'm excited about it. I hope all the viewers out there will also sign up and let us know what they think. And we really appreciate you coming on the show today, Tina. Um, really appreciate you taking
Yeah.
the time out of your day to do this for us. We're excited about it.
Yeah, no, we are excited as well, and be on the lookouts. We've got some sneak peeks coming through over the next month or so to give our viewers, our listeners, a taste of what's going to be coming down the pike. And we won't reveal too much, so we don't take away some of the excitement. But you'll see some of the very cool technologies and new experiences, frankly, that we're going to be doing.
Can't wait. Thank you again, Tina. Really appreciate it.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, Shawn.
I want to thank Tina for coming on the show again. I really learned a lot about Automation Fair at home, and I'm actually excited to attend the event. But I also love to hear what you guys think. You can always get in touch with me over at theautomationblog.com, where I read and reply to comments every workday. That said, if you enjoyed the show, please give us a like and a sub. And if you'd like to support our channel, you can do so over at patreon.com/automation. You can also check out my affordable automation courses over at theautomationschool.com. With that said, I want to wish you all a very safe, healthy, and happy week. And until next time, my friends, peace.